तस्मै श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Shadowy semblance of faith. Srila Prabhupada refers to the second type of semblance of faith as chaya or shadow. He also displays high regard for the concept of chaya by calling it para or transcendental. How can chaya can be called it para or transcendental? Because the concept is transcendental, we have to understand that at what extent chaya will take us, or in the semblance of the faith. This has been given in Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 18, page 140th. Compared to the devious nature of reflective faith, that is pratibimba, abhas, shadowy faith is innocent. Please listen carefully. Persons with shadowy faith worship Krishna but improperly out of ignorance. That is, although they are distracted by the material desires or are weak at heart. They have not embraced the philosophy that rejects the supremacy of Krishna. They are not succumbed to Mayavad philosophy. They are holding very tight to the lotus feet of Krishna in this shadowy semblance. As already mentioned, reflective semblance or faith cannot transform into pure faith. It must be rooted out and replaced with faith that is devoid of the wickedness characteristics of Mayavada philosophy. So in contrast, shadowy resemblance or semblance of faith can unfold into pure faith by virtue of its simplicity and absence of philosophical contaminations. Reflective means you reflect of your own understanding and then contaminate it, and which will be a wrong concept, like Mayavad concept, you adhere. So unless and until you are a, what we call three-dimensional solid figure, and you are simply reflecting what your body cannot absorb. Otherwise, transparent via medium is the nature of the Guru. Transparent via medium is the nature of Guru. It's like clear glass. The glass is there, but it does not reflect. And Krishna Tattva should be, understood, visualized, or realized by the disciple through the transparency of the Guru. Krishna is the Guru who is transmitting himself through the transparent via medium. Transparent via medium, Prabhupada is utilizing. That is pure faith. There is no question about it. There is no impediment of ulterior desires like Mayavad. Jnana karmadhanavratam, they are not influenced by material knowledge. So Krishna is transmitting himself through a transparent via medium is the pure concept of Guru, and one who develops that faith in the Guru, then he will be progressing rapidly. Second thing, in pratibimb abhas or a reflection means is not that transparent via medium. Our body can be seen only because of a reflection of the dead body materials in three-dimensional way. So even though Krishna may be shining through me, but it's a dead body. So naturally, Vapu Seva may be important, but Vani Seva becomes more important than the Vapu Seva. Because Krishna is transmitting as it is. And if I'm repeating the same words as Srila Prabhupada without any deviation, then Prabhupada becomes just like transparent via medium. That is the original. And I have to also follow in that footstep rather than deviating myself with my own bodily conception of life and hide or reflect out something which is visible traits. So that is pratibimb. But chaya means chaya comes through the shadow comes through something is blocking. Even though sun is shining, but sometimes clouds do block. So even though somebody finds some kind of what you call a defective nature in my body, and he says something, then that is understood to be chaya. It is blocking. But nonetheless, Krishna is to be understood as shining through the Vani rather than Vapu. Vani is more important than Vapu. Vapu is going to decay, right? But that kind of Vapu, we consider that it is pure. Therefore, we worship the Guru's Vapu. It is not a blind faith, but it is called Chaya Abhas, that it's reflective in the way of ignorance, and that is Mayavad. But the transparency of the Vani should be understood, uh, and that is more important than the Vapu. So, suppose if person with shadowy faith worship Krishna, but improperly, out of ignorance. That is, although they are distracted by material desires or are weak at heart, they have they have not embraced a philosophy that rejects the supremacy of Krishna. So those who have material desires, akamava, or sakam means sarvakamahi. Moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajat purusham param. This is applicable to shadowy semblance. Shadowy semblance is better appreciated than the wicked characteristics of Mayavad philosophy, which is a reflective semblance. In contrast, shadowy semblance of faith can unfold into pure faith by virtue of its simplicity and absence of philosophical contamination. Let the cloud of unearthers removed, and it will shine out. But you do not necessarily stop progressing. But Mayavad is a reflective, dead element that stops any further progress. So Mayavadir Bhashya Sunila Hoyer Sarvanas. But however, a devotee who has unflinching faith, even though there are some imperfections in his, say, behavior, or he is trying to do something always good, then those who are pure in the heart do not find chidranveshanam, what they call looking into the finding faults. All right, Astavakra, a great sadhu, but you cannot find fault with his body. Vani is more important. Like that. Impressed by externals, the uninformed sometimes mistake persons with reflective faith to be more advanced than those with shadowy faith. Impressed by externals. Guru is not a personality cult. Guru is not a personality cult. Guru is measured by Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Koriyo Aikya Arana Koriho Asha. He is known by the words of transcendence, words of pure devotional service. So, Mayavadis, be they karmi, yogi, or jnanis, due to their meticulous rituals, strict regulated practices, and sense control, may appear to have strong faith. In contrast, a novice with shadowy faith, irregular devotional practices, and uncontrolled senses, or even an ordinary person serving Krishna out of social convention, may appear to have a weaker faith. But this false perception is corrected when the meanings of the words pratibimb, reflective, and chaya, shadowy, are clearly understood. Does it make sense?
Yes,
Haribol.
Gurmat. Hare Krishna, Gurmat. Yes, as Sita Raja Prabhu said, therefore we should stay away from preaching to those who have Pratibimba Shradabhas and preach only to the ones with Chaya Shradabhas.
That's correct. One thing is also very certain, that these Mayavadi sannyasis, they also dress very neatly, calmly to impress their personality on others. But their preaching is against surrender to Lord Shri Krishna. They are Krishna Aparadhi. Now, however Jnani they may be posing, they may cultivate 25 characteristics of a sadhu, external symptoms and the behavior. But there is only number 26 quality, is that his surrendered soul to Lord Shri Krishna is not there. So he may be reflecting pratibimb, abhas. We should not be glamored by those who are very fleshy and pushing that personality aspect. But he must be well versed in the Shastra according to the conclusion of the Shastra. Other things that are not showing the conclusions, they have their place somewhere else, but not in surrendering process to Lord Shri Krishna. A reflection resembles an object in detail, but it is always separated from it. A shadow, though a mere silhouette, is always connected to the object it silhouettes. Thus, a shadow is more closely related to an object of a reflection. This is also easy to understand. Reflection is separate from the original object. Reflection in a mirror is not connected with my body. It's a reflection. What we see with the material eyes is only reflections. So eyes are not, an instrument to understand the sadhu. You cannot touch the sadhu and examine and understand that he is a pure devotee. No. You cannot smell him even. You cannot lick and taste him even. But you can hear. That is a definite. So, hearing process is the determination of the sadhu. So, listen always. Cultivate a habit of listening to others. To make this concept clear, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives example of a tree reflected in water. The reflection in the water closely resembles the tree, but it is not physically connected to it. The tree's shadow, however, silhouettes the tree and also proceeds from it. That is, the shadow and the tree are joined. In the same way, although reflective resemblance of faith appears stronger than shadowy faith, It glares out from the separatist mentality of austere Mayavadis and thus remains disconnected from pure faith. In contrast, seemingly weaker, shadowy faith of less regulated neophyte remains connected to real faith through sincerity. With time, it can develop into pure faith. If we have faith in Srila Prabhupada, then Prabhupada has directed us, or you do not have to invent new method. Just preach as I am preaching. Speak as I speak. That is chaya, not reflection. We are connected with Srila Prabhupada by Vani. And Vani is an eternal connection, not Vapu. A rhetorical question nicely sums up the idea, which is of greater or more lasting value. A large tree whose roots are pulled from the ground, or a sapling well rooted in fertile soil. Which is more important? A sapling well rooted in the fertile soil is important rather than uprooted tree. Srila Rupa Goswami applies this understanding of chaya to the development of practical devotional life. He writes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, first canto, third chapter, 49 to 52 verses. 4 verses are there. Kshudra kutuhalamayi chanchala dukkhaharini rateschaya bhavet kinchit tat sadashraya avalambini haripriya kriyakala desha patradi sangamat api anusangikad esha kvachit ajgnesho apikshayate किंतु भाग्यम विना नासौ भव अच्छायापि उदंचति यद अभ्युदयतः क्षेमं तत्र स्याद उत्तरोत्तरम हरिप्रिया जनस्यैव प्रसाद भार लाभतः भावाभासो अपि सहसा bhavatam upagacchati. A paragraph or paraphrase summary of this verses appear in the Nectar of Devotion, chapter number 18, page number 140. It says, at that time, simply by association of such pure devotees, the moon-like rays from their hearts reflect on him, and by the influence of the pure devotee, he may show some likeness of attachment caused by inquisitiveness, but this is very flickering. And if by the manifestation of such shadow attachment one feels the disappearance of all material pangs, then it is called para attachment. Such shadow attachment or para attachment can develop if one associates with pure devotee or visits holy places in like Vrindavan or Mathura. It is an ordinary man is fortunate enough to develop such attachment for Krishna and performs devotional activities in the association of the pure devotees. Then he can also rise to the platform of pure devotional service. A conclusion is that transcendental attachment is so powerful that if a common man, a common person, displays such attachment by the association of the pure devotee, that person can be brought to the perfectional stages. But such attachment for Krishna cannot be invoked in the person unless he is blessed by the association of pure devotees. So, sadhu sanga sarva shastra koy, lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. What is that sarva siddhi? Uh, uh, the shadow at namabhas, but in a shadow will be more beneficial than the pratibhimbabhas. Climbing Rupa Goswami's comment, combining Rupa Goswami's comment above with those Thakur Bhakti Vinod's in Bhakti Tattva Vivek throws even more light on the subject. That is Bhakti Tattva Vivek by Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and chapter 2, page number 19 to 21. The reminder of this section is the synthesis of those comments. What Shivram Maharaj is giving is the nectar selected out from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, creations of his understanding also. So wherever it is important that clarifies the principle of our faith, then will be immensely benefited, and therefore by reading this we may not have to read other books. Shadowy semblance of faith awakens two types of persons: those seeking a solution to the material existence, or those who inadvertently come in contact with pure devotees and other things related to Krishna. This is also in Bhakti Tattva Vivek, chapter 2, page number 20. Persons of the first type take to devotional service with a desire to cross the ocean of material existence, but they do not have transcendental knowledge. When they become knowledgeable, their shadowy semblance transforms into pure faith. The class of demigod worshippers who stay aloof from Mayavad philosophy provide an example of this kind of person. Their shadowy semblance of faith is based on the conviction that their deity is an expression of or expansion of Vishnu, but because their faith in Vishnu is indirect through a demigod, it is a weaker than the faith of devotees exclusively attracted to the Lord. Thus, although possible, it is highly unlikely that they will succeed in the arduous journey to pure faith because of the intricacies of the process involved in properly worshipping their deity. There are many devotees who were worshippers of demigods like Ganesh, but their mode of worship was an at least mode of goodness. They may be desiring from Lord Ganesh all kinds of protections, Vignaharta. Ganesh is Vignaharta. But they got inspired by Yadapada Pallava Yugam Pranidhaya Kumbhad Vande Pranama Samayes Ganadhiraj Vignan Vihantum Alamasya Jagatprayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. It was not difficult for my father, even who was an ardent Ganesh worshipper, to become Krishna conscious. And he took initiation. And I was responsible for both my father and mother. So you can understand the example of Chaya Vas reposing initially in the worship of demigods, but they can become devotees. So we should not condemn those devotees who are under Chaya. Rather, they will be understanding through a proper context and uh, encouraged to do, and they will be happy to do because they understand that Lord Ganesh is a devotee. He is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It doesn't hurt to come to Krishna consciousness for such persons who are in shadowy semblance of faith. Simply, they have to be aloof, stay aloof from Mayavad philosophy. Their shadowy semblance of faith is based on the conviction that their deity is an expansion of Vishnu, or is being blessed by Vishnu, and therefore they can bestow the benedictions on the believer. But because their faith in Vishnu is indirect, Keshavam pratigacchati, through a demigod, Krishna says, ye chapyanya devata yajante shraddhayanvita te api mameva yajante avidhi purvakam. Everything to be offered is to me alone. But if they offer it to demigods, and with their respective faith, but these offerings were meant for me, and they are worshipping me indirectly. Avidhi purvakam. So, Chaya is very important. Thus, although possible, it is highly unlikely that they will succeed in arduous journey to pure faith because of the intricacies of the process involved properly worshipping their deity. They have to repose their activity on Lord Shri Krishna without an offending attitude toward Lord Ganesh also. But Ganesh, being pure devotee of the Lord, is receiving the all auspiciousness to be distributed to whoever is worshipping him. The all auspiciousness of Lord Vishnu can be distributed by a pure devotee like Lord Ganesh also. Space does not permit a detailed account of such extremely complex rituals, but worshippers of Durga, for example, would have to come to pure faith by elevating themselves from their foundation of Durga worship to the ritualistic worship of Surya, and then Ganesh, then Shiva, and finally Vishnu. This is those who are performing Panchopasana. This is the sequence they have to follow. They have to do ritualistic worship of Surya, then Ganesh, then Shiva, and then finally Vishnu. then they would have to adopt the worshipper of Vishnu as it's practiced by pure Vaishnavas. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada discouraged demigod worship. He vigorously distributed transcendental knowledge and reassured the followers of the demigods that serving Krishna was the best way to satisfy their respective deities. Those who follow Srila Prabhupada's prescription, who acquire full transcendental knowledge and abundant demigod worship, awaken pure faith and ultimately achieve perfection. We have also practitioners, those who have previously worshipped Lord Shiva and Ganesh. They want to retain such deity forms of them even after putting Gornitai on the top and then Swami Parampara, etc. So they have a shadowy faith, the Chayabhas, but because they were not independent to bestow them, rather they are depending upon the mercy of Lord Krishna, and they are doing their services to distribute, or those who are inspiring for pure devotional service. Lord Shiva is very famous because he performs himself and he blocks the so-called Mayavadis and impersonalists for Brahmajyoti to be merged into and traps in the outermost covering of material world, that is Lord Shiva's place,
Mahakal.
Mahakalapur. Mahakalapur. You know, when we go to Ujjain, in our temple, we always visit Mahakalapur because he is a Vaishnava, Mahavaishnava. Srila Prabhupada is condemning the demigod worships because you do not know what kind of faith they would be carrying. They think Bahudevavad means everyone is God. So whomever you prefer to worship, you are worshipping God anyway. So that kind of ignorance cannot be accepted. But when we refer to the Shastra and the importance of them by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, acquiring mercy from Him alone, they want to distribute it. So their worship may be recommended for a particular purpose. If you want a good husband or good wife, just worship Lord Shiva and Parvati, that's one. But always ask for a good wife who can become Vaishnava, not otherwise. In addition to demigod worshippers, mystic yogis and Brahmavadi Jnanis also have shadowy semblance of faith. The Brahmavadis are different from Mayavadis. Although they too are attached to worshipping of impersonal form of Godhead, unlike the Mayavadis, they do not deny the Lord's superiority and eternality. Thus, they are not offenders. Like our four Kumaras and Sukadeva Goswami, they can, by right association, became pure devotees. This is in Morning Walk Conversation of Srila Prabhupada in Denver, 2nd July 1975. I was surprised in Albany. One Mataji from Denver, she came just to see me. Maharaj, you initiated me on Zoom. And she was coming all the way from Denver, Colorado, just to see me. And I totally forgot about her, you know. Then I tried to look for her name and I couldn't find, you know. I have yet to give it to Mother Longlata to aid her. So now I have a Denver also from Las Vegas to Oklahoma City that I would be going. Now I have to stop over in Denver also. She was so much purified. The whole family, you know, they are into Krishna consciousness. Thanks to uh, uh, Chandravanshi Prabhu and Nakanyaka Mataji, they are taking care of her, right? But it happens that simply by uh, having association of the devotees, and when somebody accepts devotional service, they show the trend towards progressive aspect of becoming a pure devotee. Mm. These Brahmavadis, they are different from Mayavadis, and they are too attached to worshipping the impersonal form. Unlike the Mayavadis, they do not deny the Lord's superiority and eternality. Thus, they are not offenders. Like the four Kumaras and Sukadeva Goswami, they were Brahmavadis before. They can be, by right association, become pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada appreciates this. Many other kinds of fruitive workers, speculative philosophers, and yoga practitioners also have shadowy faith. Such diversity in the type of person who develops shadowy faith is due to complex permutation and combination of the modes of nature. Impelled by mixture of faith, living entities adopt one of the wide spectrum of spiritual practices and worship an equally wide spectrum of deities. But in each case, their motivations, no matter how slight or well-meaning, are impure because they aim at the goals different from those prescribed by the Lord in science of pure devotion. So naturally, they can be guided when we tell that most of the faithful or those who are actually stunted in the progress of developing the faith, they may have this chaya apasi faith, but they may be more receptive than those Mayavadis. And they will want to advance in devotional service. They join International Society for Krishna Consciousness easily. So, even if they are worshippers of demigods, but we can check their faith. A preacher must be very much alert rather than to offend them. Go. Srila Prabhupada would go and pay obeisances to Durga Mata in Devi temple. His presence is to invoke a correct understanding. But if it is a Mayavadi, then it will be a troublesome situation. Don't go. Many other kinds of fruitive workers, speculative philosophers, and yoga practitioners also have shadowy faith. Such diversity in the types of persons who develop shadowy faith is due to the complex permutation and combination of the modes of nature. It means we have access to preach them. They will be more favorable to join even our Rath Yatras. They will be pleased to lean towards the worshipper of the absolute truth. So we should not shy because, oh, is a demigod worshipper or this or that. No, but his faith may be shadowy, then you have to help them. If somebody is arguing, then it's a reflective faith, not shadowy. So then they are faithless. So don't preach them, avoid them. So this is an important understanding Shivram Maharaj is, putting through. So we welcome everybody except Mayavadis. Impelled by mixture of faith, living entities adopt one of a wide spectrum of spiritual practices and worship equally and wide spectrum of deities. But in each case, their motivations, no matter how slight or well-meaning, are impure because they aim at the goals different from those prescribed by the Lord in the science of pure devotion. They do not know. Nate vidhu swartha gatim hi Vishnu durashayaye bahirarthamanina andha yatha andhai upaniyamana te pishatantrya urudamni badhya. If they don't have faith in Vishnu, but if they have a shadowy faith in Vishnu as well as other demigods, then they can be preached. They will be easily acceptive or accepting the understanding which is described by the Shastras. Candidates for devotional service, be the worshipper of demigods of Vishnu, cannot progress to pure devotion without pure Vaishnava association. Only chanting and hearing in the company of pure devotees instills and nurtures the seed of devotion in a neophyte's heart. Only when that seed of devotion is nurtured can pure faith develop. So we'll look into the further of this, the second type. shadowy faith and resemblance, this will be more deliberately, pushing through. As Chaya Shraddha Bhas is very, very interesting, and we should welcome, and we'll try to, fix up our faith also in Sudrida Vishwasakara Nishchaya. Okay, I would like to stop here.
Thank you very much, Gurmaj. It's very interesting.
Chaya Bhas is to be understood for every preacher.
Yes. Asita Prabhu comments that only devotees who are situated in pure faith can recognize the different semblances of faith.
Right. Prabhupada gave us, very direct, pure faith. No abhas. But how much we develop an unflinching, unmotivated, uncontaminated faith. Anyabilashita shunyam jnana karmadhanavrutam anukulyena krishnanushalanam bhaktiruttama. So uttam bhakti requires uttam faith. So
Gurmaj,
this every preachers this gives a discrimination with their intelligence developed on that, Yes.
So Gurmaj, so it seems that two things are most important and essential. And that's studying Srila Prabhupada's books so we know what he's teaching us, and associating with the pure devotees.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else with comments or questions? Ujjwala Rasagya has her hand up.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Pranam Shri Gurudev. Yeah. Gurudev, thank you. Thank you for saying that Srila Prabhupada has given us pure devotion, pure faith, which is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate. So depending on Lord Krishna and holy name, is that, can you speak a little on that pure devotion, pure faith, Gurudev?
Anya Chintan, no. On anything else, but only resolutely to Lord Krishna. Ananyas Chintayo Mam. Mam is very important. That is pure. That is Lord Krishna.
Having full faith in pure devotional service, that it will meet our material needs and spiritual, everything is taken care of when one engages in pure devotional service to the Lord. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Thank you, Gurudev. And one more question I wanted to ask was, I see there was a post, something was posted in the group. Somebody was asking how to keep track of our progress in bhakti, and it is to do with Navavida bhakti. I wasn't sure how, if there was a discussion on that, and how is that used to track everyday progress in bhakti, in Navavida bhakti. Is there something about that, Gurudev?
one can track a record. But actually, if we are in primary school, we are given a general science course, right? But when we become a graduate, then they are choose one major.
Right.
Uh, so in the same way, right now in the crossing over the neophyte stage, we have to at least graduated from generalized course.
Right.
Then we, with the help of Guru and convicted faith, which is not abhasi faith, because we are given direct, perception by a realized, self-realized devotee, Lord Srila Prabhupada, then we can also follow in that footsteps. But we have to follow in the footsteps means we have to do as he is doing. We don't have to imitate and become like Prabhupada. You can repeat after him. It doesn't mean that you are imitating him, because you may know verbatim, but you may not have realized the same at the extent of Srila Prabhupada. Right? So all these 9 processes are there. We have to study, but we also have to understand where are we, in which process. Our process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, first, in the first initiation. And we have to check it out, where are we? Are we into Bhava Prem or what? We are into Anartha Nivrutti. But we have been given chance to become more strict in second initiation and meditate on Gayatri, etc., to become qualified for Shamaha Dhamma Tapa Shaucham. Don't become succumbed to external, pitfalls. They can overcome us, so better control them. Everything is very conducive to create a deeper sense rather than controversy, deeper sense of our engagement, and we are serious. So naturally, second initiation entails with meditation aspect. So actually, bhava bhakti, that is, should be starting after the nishtha, all right? Then people will given a chance to go for gradually, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam is there, but Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam will be in the last stage. Right.
Dr. Gurudev. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Gurudev.
And Annamoy is saying thank you very much. This class has been very helpful for him. You need your prasadam, Guru Maharaj?
Yet to go. My pizza is waiting.
Okay, then you should go and get it while it's still good for your stomach, JJ Guru Maharaj.
All right. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.